What is up, beautiful friends? Okay, so another week, another vlog. So let's catch up really quickly. So I had every intention of uploading a video on Sunday, like I usually do my weekly vlogs. Let me turn off my new AC, by the way. Yes, we finally have an AC so that you guys can hear me better. So yeah, I had every intention of uploading my vlog on Sunday like I usually do, but my program was giving me some major issues, and I was like, you know what, I cannot put any more time into this. It is time to move on. So here we are. I am almost done getting ready. I have a little event to go to tonight. So I am part of a series, not a series, like a festival. I'm in a reading on Friday. It's called Memory of an Ending.
Get out of here.
It is written by Tere Martinez, who I worked with years ago, and it's being presented by Cherry Lane Theater, and the name of the festival is Power Grid. So what they did was they flew out a couple of playwrights from Puerto Rico, so everything is to benefit those affected by Hurricane Maria. And Tere recommended me for a role in in her play, and of course I said yes, because hello, number one, I'm a huge fan of Tere. So much respect for her work, and it's a great cause, and you know, as a fellow Boricua, I have to represent for my people. So of course I said yes. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a theater, like, I love theater. Theater is my baby. That's how I got started, and like, you guys have no idea, like, I would love to do a play again because I haven't done one in years, but I do have certain standards. So it has to be the right play at the right time at the right theater, perfect character and story and all of that jazz for me to return to theater. And even though this isn't like a full-blown production, it's just a reading, I'm still really excited about it because, you know, it's something that I put on my vision board and that I kept saying I wanted to do and go back to. So I feel like this is like God's way of being like, oh, here we go, take your first baby steps. I'm really excited. And tonight is the opening reception, and the playwright reached out to me over the weekend to see if I was available tonight because they were asked to present 5 minutes of their play. I'm gonna do that, and it's like, you know, like a whole party type of thing, but I am not staying for the party because I have an audition tomorrow morning. So I need to come back home so that I can prep for that. So I had a comment on one of my videos, and I'm gonna read it to you guys because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I was like, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity to do this. Let's see, where was it? Within the Word left a comment on one of my videos. It's a pretty long comment, but I'll just read the part that is relevant. So she wrote, could you walk us through what is expected of you during an audition? How do you prepare? Are you nervous, etc.? Or maybe you've done one of these already. So I know that, like, I briefly talk about auditions and like show you how I prep or what I'm doing, but I don't really like go into details, and I didn't want to do like a whole separate video on that. And so when I got the email yesterday about the audition that I have tomorrow, I was like, well, this is the perfect time to incorporate it into a vlog, just so that you guys can see how sometimes, you know, you don't have a lot of time to prep, and you may have other obligations that are taking time away from that prep. So I got the email last night about the audition. I knew I had this reading today, and the audition is tomorrow morning. So I was like, oh my God. As always, I start my prep right away. So as soon as I got that email, I printed out my sides, and that's basically what I've been working on all day today in preparation for tomorrow. And when I come back tonight, that's also what I'm going to continue doing. So I figured now would be the perfect time just to like show you guys a little bit of what I do to prepare. So I'm gonna finish getting ready and get my clothes on and settle in and like do my little vocal warm-up so I feel like prepared for tonight. You guys are gonna rewind to yesterday, and hopefully you guys will just learn a little bit more about my process and prepping for auditions and all of that good stuff, and then we'll meet back here and I'll address the other parts of that question. And yeah, so I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. As soon as I find out that I have an audition, I immediately print out my sides and I read the scene at least once. I then go in and I start highlighting all of my lines. And after that, I just read the scene over and over and over and over again. And then I just like to go in and leave any notes that I have for the scene, any moments, any little beats that I want to hit. After reading the scene a zillion times, I go to imdb.com. This is where I go to do my research and find out more information about the writers of the show or the episode that I'm going in for. And I like to just look up their past work. It really just helps me to get a sense of who they are and the type of content that they like to write. And I like to watch an episode or two of the show, especially if it's one that I haven't watched before. It helps me to get a grasp of the tone and the style of the show. That way I am preparing the scene in a way that really makes sense. Alrighty, guys, so I am back from the reading tonight. It is 10:00.
What's your suite number?
For the P.O. box?
Sorry.
It's fine. It's 10:09. I'm blind because I just took my contacts off and I really hope that this is in focus. Let me change this setting. I was like trying to do something different. It's not working. This is better. So yeah, I'm back from the reading. The boy is also back and we're gonna eat something really quick, even though it's late to be eating because we both have like massive headaches from not eating. And then I have to stay up and continue to work on my lines for the audition. So what I like to do, once I do my part of reviewing the scene, memorizing my lines, picking out what I'm gonna wear for this character, and all of that research part of it, then what I like to do is read it with another person, usually the boy, because I live with him and it's just easier. And we read it a couple of times for line purposes, just to make sure that I know my lines. So he'll correct me and let me know which parts I'm messing up on or whatever, and then we just keep doing it until I get it down pat. After that, I like to be on my feet and kind of move around while I'm rehearsing my lines. I could be doing anything, washing the dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, folding clothes, just walking up and down. I just like to move because I find that when I'm moving as I'm saying the lines, I find a natural rhythm to them, and that just helps me it just helps me to find a more natural, unforced tone to the scene, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so it'll be a long night for me. I'll probably do that with him for I don't know, 20-30 minutes, and then he has to go to bed because he has to go to work tomorrow. But I'll probably stay up and just continue to work on the scene. And yeah, that's basically what I do the night before. Tomorrow we'll talk about what I do the day of an audition. But for now, I got a really bad headache. I'm gonna finish warming up these black beans, and yeah, I'll check with you guys in the morning. Good night. First thing I do in the morning is grab the 5-minute journal. I do not look on my phone. I don't go to social media. I grab the 5-minute journal. Then I head to the kitchen and I get the coffee going. So while that is brewing, I sit down and I write in my journal. So if you guys don't know about the 5-minute journal, I'll put a link in the description box below, but I absolutely love it. I love the morning routine. It just really helps to keep things in perspective for me and reminds me of the little things that I should be grateful for. After that, I take out my mat and I like to just do a couple of breathing exercises. Yes, I am wearing a satin bonnet, do not judge me. And then after that, I do a quick little meditation. I don't like to do anything more than 10 minutes. This just really helps ground me. Done with my audition, finally back in the neighborhood, kind of. And it's such a nice day. I figured let me just walk to the park. I'm always like rushing home. So I wanted to find a quiet place that I could sit down and like chat with you guys. Like everywhere I was walking to was just super, super loud. Since the audition is done now, you guys have a general idea of how I like to prep and what my mornings are typically like when I have an audition. Today was an early morning audition, so when I have those, I don't work out in the morning because I don't like to rush. I like to just do my process. But if the audition's later on in the day, then going to the gym in the morning and coming home and meditating and all that jazz is part of my routine. To answer the other part of the question, which was what is expected of me at an audition and do I get nervous? There's an airplane passing. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we're gonna wait until it like passes. In terms of what is expected of you at an audition, it's not much to it. What's expected is that you are professional and that you come in prepared. That means that you have worked on the material and you know it, and everything that you saw that I did, not that every single actor does that, but just that you've done the work and you've prepped and you come to the room ready to work. That's basically what it means. It also means that you're on time. That is what is, you know, expected of you. If you're running late, you should let your people know that you're running late so that they can let casting know that you're running late and that you're a professional in the waiting room. I feel like that's something that isn't really talked about or addressed that much, but like you are sharing a space with other actors that are auditioning, and a lot of casting directors are in, you know, buildings and floors with other offices and shared spaces. So you just always want to be mindful of like your surroundings. Don't be like that super chatty, loud actor, because that's just not cool. I'm not a chatty actor in the waiting room. If I see someone that I know, like I say hi, obviously, but I don't typically like to engage in conversation like right before I go in the room. It's not my thing. I prefer to like use that time to just get into the right headspace, but that's just me, you know. Some actors are incredibly chatty and loud, and they do like all their breathing there and all their movement, they're like and all their woo-saw stuff, and I just feel like, guys, that's what you do at home, you know. Definitely go into the room with your sides just in case, if you need to like reference them for a quick second. Always just bring them and have them there. Nowadays everything is electronic, so 9 times out of 10 they will not ask for your headshot because they have it on file, but I still think that you should bring your headshot because you never know. I have had moments where they actually take my headshot. It doesn't happen often, but it can, and so I still bring my headshot just in case because you never know, and I think that everyone else should as well. And that is basically it for that. In terms of nerves, like I'm an anxious overthinker person just like naturally, so do I get nervous? Yeah, sometimes I do get nervous like right before I go in the room, and which is why I like to take my time in the waiting room to just like center myself and breathe and just like get in the moment and not be distracted by like other things. But you know what, once I'm in the room and I start the scene, I'm totally fine. It kind of just like goes away. These leaves that are falling off of these trees are loud as hell and they're scaring me. But yeah, once I get in the room, I'm typically okay and it goes away. Sometimes, you know, you go into a room and the energy that you sense from the casting directors are like just off. I don't know how to describe it, but you can't like let those things get to you because you can't take anything personal. You don't know what happened before, what they're dealing with. Everyone is coming in with like their own shit, and you kind of just gotta check it at the door and just go in to do the work. Sometimes some casting directors are incredibly warm and like super friendly, so it does put you at ease a little bit. It makes you feel better, and you just like go in and like you do your scene. But most of them really aren't that talkative. They say the, you know, generic hi, how are you type of thing, and then you just go right into the scene. Some of them don't say much besides stand on the mark and say your name, and then when you're ready we'll start, and then you just start. So you just never know what you're gonna get on any given day, which is why you always just gotta go in prepared and, you know, have your A game on point. Something that has really helped me and changed how I audition now. When I was reading Bryan Cranston's book, A Life in Parts, he talked about when he first started in the business and like his thing with like auditions, I guess, like nerves and things like that. And I'll just put an excerpt here because I don't remember it like word for word, but when I read that part in the book, it just, everything made sense to me. Everything that people have said throughout my journey and all the advice just kind of made sense. It clicked for me because, you know, as you go along, you just learn and you experience things more, and so yeah, things just make sense. I don't know how to like really explain that, but what he wrote wasn't something that was completely new to me per se, but I guess just the way that he worded it just like really helped. So I don't really go into an audition anymore like I used to. Like, I have to book this because booking it justifies my talent, and if I don't book it, that means that I'm not talented, and that's such bullshit. Like, you cannot go through life thinking that way, because getting the job doesn't necessarily mean shit, to be honest with you. You could have been the best person that they saw, but for whatever reason they had to go with somebody else, and those reasons are never really about you per se. So that's why they say like you can't take it personal. But what he said about just like going in there not to book a job but to share your work, to share your interpretation of this character in the scene, and that's a blessing, you know. Like, that's a blessing, because there are so many people that wish that they could go into that room to do just that, and they can't for whatever reason. So I don't go in there anymore like I have to book this. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said that there weren't moments that I did think that, like, let's be real, but most of the time I don't think that way anymore. I'm like, you know what, I'm going into such and such office today for such and such show, and this is great, and I'm excited that I get to work. And that's just been like my approach lately. So it really helps me to like move past things and not take it too personal, because at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe it was personal, maybe it wasn't, but like, it really isn't. So that's the gist when it comes to auditions. I hope that was helpful and that you guys learned something and get a little bit, you know, more understanding as to like the process and, you know, how it is or whatever. And, you know, we just don't have a lot of control over it. So if you are wanting to pursue an acting career, that's like my number one advice, is like, don't take anything personal and you just go with the flow, because you don't know what can happen. I was pinned for 2 projects that I was really excited about, and I was really hoping I would book one of them, because I was like, ooh, I could do this whole like come to set with me type of vlog. But I was pinned for one and holding for about like a week and a half, and then I was pinned for another project, and the day that I was pinned for the second project, I found out that I was released from the first one, and then I was released from the second one. So like, you just never know. At the end of the day, like, I see it all as little steps towards the bigger picture and my goal. And, you know, you just never know where this journey is going to take you. You could book something that could really, 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 truly put you on the map, and something that is like really going to display your talent and your range, and that's why you just have to keep going, because that project could be right around the corner, that role could be right around the corner, and you don't want to quit before you get there. So that's my message for the day, because everybody's staring at me in the park. Bye.